Morning, folks. This morning's soap is from Figaro Gold Edition. And yeah, I got the lid off this time. Struggling with it this morning. That's what it looks like there on the inside. It's firm but fairly soft. Easy to scoop out with a spoon. Press into a bowl, whip up into a lather. I'll show you here in a moment. Got carried away. Got the alum block without the rubber band. I've got the unscented witch hazel that's mentholated. I've got the matching aftershave in a pretty handy container here. I like how it's shaped. It's easy to hang on to, even if your hands are a little bit on the wet side. And it's got the profile on the back side. That was a very good idea. On camera I'll be using the Shaven Sailor's Beard Oil. Today's shaver comes by the way of Italian barber. It's RazoRock BlackHawk. It's a single edge. It's got the Feather Artist Club Super. It's on a second use. And this one here has this feature on the handle that if you wanted to, you can take this knob off. Shortens up the handle for you just a bit. I prefer to leave the knob on. Yesterday's shaver is similar to this one here. Single edge shaver. Takes Feather Artist Club blades also, but this one here has a Kai, was it Captain Titan Mild Pink? I think it's got a long name. Anyway, I just call them Kai Pinks. This has got a icon head, single edge. I don't think they make it anymore. This one here is a blemish edition. This one here is I've got the this is a custom handle. It's copper. Come by the way of AMACK Metalworks. This one here, I'll talk a little bit more about this head. It works well for me, even though it is a blemish. Works just fine for me. I've got the lather whipped up over here in thrift store bowl, and it was whipped up with a AMACK brush. Had this one here for a while, synthetic knot. I have got more than enough for one shave, plenty for another shave. It was just fun. Just kept on working it real slow, and it was just coming right on up. We put a hot towel to the face this morning. I still have a little bit of the Preshave cube. It still acts like it's not going to go anywhere. Seems like it's been this. It's gotten smaller, but it seems like it's been this size for quite a while. A good long moment. Saturday morning here, and by this point in time, I haven't checked the weather yet this morning to see how the hurricane's doing, or maybe a tropical storm at this point. I don't know. But I know it's been dumping a lot of rain. So if you're watching this video and you're caught up in that mess, stay safe. I know it's going to be a long, hard road with that much rain that's falling. I chose this soap today. Wasn't what I was originally starting out with. In other words, I had already planned to use another soap. Open the top of the soap, you know, like I usually do when I'm planning. But I'd opened it up earlier in the week, you know, and opened it up, and this morning decided that was not the scent I wanted to use this morning. And not that my nose can really, the scent is there, but you know, my nose is not working well this morning. And I've been wanting to use this soap. And the scent of this soap is pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'll put the link down below for Italian Barber's website where I got this soap from. It's an oud scent, and that's all it's going to tell you. I guess there's more than one kind. I couldn't tell you. When it comes to scents and stuff, I'm not that well diverse, I guess you might say, be able to speak to how many different ouds there are. I know this one here, when I first got it, when my nose was working, it is one of my favorite scents. It's one of my favorite soaps and aftershaves. Figaro is made by TFS, and I've always had pretty good luck with their soaps, aftershaves. Guess you might say I enjoy their product. Go ahead and get started. First pass. This head is different than the Icon in that, and I guess I'm not 100% sure, because when I got that head from Icon, I didn't know how it was blemished. And to be honest with you, I'm still not too sure if I know. I know when I got it on the threads, they looked a little rough. Outside of that, I couldn't really tell what the problem was, and the more I got to reading about them, evidently the tolerance was a bit more than what some people were expecting. And that head there, you can place the blade, there's enough play in it that you can place it to the rear or to the front, and same thing with the cap and the base plate. There's enough wiggle room in there that you can shift back and forth with it. So in effect, you had more or less an adjustable head, just depending on where you put your base plate, your cap, and your blade at. So I typically, the way I was loading it, it would always be to the back. So the cap would face, would be further to the back, and the blade would be further to the back. So my shaves would be pretty mild compared to placed towards the front and be more aggressive. So my shaves were always, nice, smooth, easy going. Didn't matter what kind of blade, whether I used a Kai blade or whether I used a Super, I was getting smooth, comfortable shaves with it. Close, fantastic. Others not so much, and I didn't realize at the time that because of the way I was loading things, the way my system, my habit of doing things, as being consistent, and others were experiencing something different. Then the more I got to thinking about it, then I realized why it was that way was because of the way the head was made, and I don't think some people were happy with it. I think they were expecting something with closer tolerances, less play, if you will. I'm kind of, when I first started out, you get those three-piece razors, you always adjusted the cap, the blade, it's got play in it. Just, took it like that's just the way it was, and I was quite alright with it. And I am quite happy with it. I get great shaves with it. You have Thor, he's wanting in this morning. I don't know if you can hear him. He's at the door. We'll see if he does like he did one time, swatting at my foot underneath the door. He's an ornery cat. I have to say though, he's probably one of the best ones we've had. We had one, Shadow, he was a character too. This soap, in my opinion, is it works well for me. It's pretty easy to get along with it. It wasn't hard to whip up the lather. I've never had any problems with it irritating my skin. It's creamy. My face always feels, doesn't feel dried out or anything like that when I'm done. Face feels soft, moisturized. There's Figaro, there's more than just the gold. There's black, red, and I think it's a green one, if I remember right. I think the black one is the citrus scented one. I think I've got, maybe it's on my eye, a piece of fuzz. Wipe off my shaving cream. The scent profile on these is, because I guess they've been out for a while, I don't know that the other three are still in production. I know Italian Barber only has the gold. And I was kind of late in the game, I guess you might say, getting started on Figaro. They all come in the same kind of containers, and the previous ones were the, what was it? Yeah, it was the red, blue. What was the other color? Anyhow, it comes in 3 different colors. Green. The early colors, I guess, if you say you want to say. The labeling was, I guess you might say it was kind of built into the cap, if you know what I'm talking about. There weren't any stickers. He's going to end up waking my wife up here in a moment. He'll do that. If he's really wanting to get outside, he'll become a pest. Been trying to catch up on some videos. Haven't been feeling well all week. I think I've been fighting off a stomach virus, and yesterday was the best I've felt in a while. Stomach's still not happy, but at least I didn't feel just totally wore out. I mean, there for a while, but the first half of the day is about the only part of the day I had any kind of energy to do anything, and the last half was just a big struggle. Lots of caffeine to make it through the day. And oddly enough, what seemed to work well for my stomach was oatmeal. So I've had a steady diet of oatmeal. But I've been trying to catch up on my videos, and I'm not ever going to get caught up. I say that, but I'm not ever going to get caught up. And I discovered a new shaver. Matter of fact, Jimmy, if you watch this video, you might like him. It's called Joy Shaving. He's from India, and he tried a new razor. He had the unboxing video, then he had a video with the shaver. 09, I think was the name of the razor. Looked like it might have been brass. It's kind of hard to tell for sure. But it's that kind of color, brass, gold. And when he got it, it came in a plastic case and had 2 base caps and two base plates. Caps and plates too. One open comb, one safety bar. And the open comb looked pretty good. Looked like it was pretty sharp. Good looking razor at that point. But when he brought out the base plate for the safety bar and cap, that looked darn aggressive. I've been too much of a chicken to try it, but he does have a video with the open comb, and he did it. You know, it's one of those things. You know, in other words, he knew when to stop. He stopped with 2 passes. Felt like the shave was good enough. He was afraid going for the 3rd pass would cause irritation on his neck because the shaver, he felt like for him, was aggressive. And he felt like it had been a mistake to go ahead and go with that 3rd pass. Thought that was pretty awesome. Because chasing a BBS, or, you know, if you got a good shave-in stop, there's no need to go any further if you don't need to. We kind of talked a little bit on the comment section in his YouTube. He's a pretty good guy. He whipped up, used a shaving cream gel. It was a gel. And he put it right in the brush, whipped up the lather, without a problem, face lathered. I mean, it whipped up pretty darn quick. Thought that might be worth a try. Because it seemed like it just, as soon as he started trying to lather, it was just building right out of the gate. Don't recall what the name of it is. I think it might have been just a product that's, I guess you might say it's a country of origin would have been India, in other words. Might be a little bit of a challenge trying to find it over here in the States. But it seemed like it whipped up just fine. I mean, he whipped it up in a hurry. If you watch all the way, especially down, I think the video's only about, what, 15 minutes maybe? And think right around minute 12, somewhere in there, you know, he starts discussing, I guess you might say, all about his channel. And he's pretty genuine. He's interested in other words, he's sharing his experiences and see if it helps anybody along their wet shaving journey. And talking about the community and how good the wet shaving community is. Pretty good. Really like his channel. I also cut distorted cheese. Shaving with Mercur 34C or HD, and was using a sample that had a peppermint scent to it. Peppermint, I could go for that. Peppermint, mint, spearmint, anything that's got a kind of a cooling effect. And the one reason why I'm bringing that up, there it is again. I have got something. Maybe I got that fuzz off my glasses. Something I kept on seeing. Anyway, I was looking on the back side of the container here, and picking out some of the ingredients. Looking at it, and down towards the end it says menthol. And if this has got menthol, it has to be just a tiny bit, because I've never noticed it before. Matter of fact, I never paid that much attention to the ingredients until I started looking at it this morning and noticed it's got menthol in it. Thought I've never smelled or felt the menthol in it. So it has to be pretty well, must be very light, just a little tiny bit in there. Thought I would bring that out because, if you've got an issue with menthol, you'd probably want to know. But I never smelt it. It doesn't feel like it. At least not on my face it doesn't. Somebody else, maybe so. That's the reason why I thought I'd bring it out. Mention that, because that's a interesting thing about that soap, because I had no idea that it had menthol. Usually if a product's got menthol in it. If there's anything, I guess you might say, a knock about a black razor, is it always shows up all the soap. It's not tough to clean this up. If you're interested in this one, they have, at one point in time it was I guess silver or gray, and then I think the black one came out, and now they got what I think is called electric blue. That one looks sharp. That, matter of fact, it's still awfully darn tempting to want to go and get the electric blue, because that is a good looking razor. Go ahead and take this apart and show you what it looks like on the inside if you're not used to seeing this kind of shaver. It's what the head looks like. The BlackHawk, the threads are even black. It comes apart pretty easy. Not a whole lot to it. This is what the underside looks like. There is two posts. They're black. They're going to be kind of hard to see, but there's one there and there's one there. And then, of course, then you got the post here with this threaded. And you can kind of tell what it looks like on the inside. It cleans up pretty easy. And since I've shaved with it, the blade is fairly well stuck in there. That's what the blade looks like when it's in there. Through my experience with using this, I have not had any issues with it clogging up or anything like that. Me being a daily shaver, chances are that's not going to be much of a factor. But you can kind of tell it takes the lather right on off without a problem. I haven't seen a video, not saying that there's not one out there, somebody that may have a 3 or 4 day growth using a shaver like this. My guess is they probably don't have a problem with it clogging up. Another unique thing about this particular bottle, if you haven't seen one of my other videos with it, I try not to do too many videos with it because it is one of my favorites. For more than, just not the scent, the way that the aftershave feels on my face, the shape of the container, the scent profile on the back, which I think is just awesome. That's what the restrictor looks like. And the cap, it may be kind of hard to tell. It has a post in the center that goes down in through the hole in the restrictor. So in other words, it keeps everything just where it should be inside the bottle. It's just one of those, the little things, yeah, again, makes a guy happy. But this was my This was my first Figaro. Yep, sure was. I can smell the aftershave. Can't smell soap, but I can smell the aftershave. It's kind of funny I didn't smell the aftershave until I put it on my face. It's fantastic on my face. I really like this. When I got this, I was so happy. I mean, it's one of the, because you get it, you don't know what you're getting for sure. You're reading about it, you're trying to decide, and it was on sale, so I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and take a chance. I'll go ahead and order, a set and see. I'll try it out. And at that point in time, I did not understand what I was looking at till later on, because when I'm reading on the back, the words on the front, I see Figaro, and on the back here, there's a lot of print that I was unfamiliar with, and then I saw the TFS, and the more I got to thinking about it, looking into it, I realized what was going on. But when I first got this, I had no clue what I was getting. For me, this is great stuff. I really enjoy it. I like it. I'll put some links down below about the videos I watch. I'll put some links down below in case you're interested in checking them out. Especially that peppermint soap. That's pretty cool stuff. Got a pretty good shave, I'd have to say. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and get started with my beard oil. If you're wondering, it gets to be the reason why I don't do it on camera. One of these days, maybe I will. I use both hands when I apply the beard oil. So if I got beard oil on my hands, trying to shut off the camera, I don't want it on the camera. I just, rather not do that. And but anyway, if you're wondering about how you determine how much you want to put in your beard, and how much beard you got may dictate that also. I put quite a bit. In other words, it's kind of like how I put soap in the bowl. I put plenty in there. I want to make sure that I got plenty of soap in there, so it's got a good chance to succeed. You see how it works out. I always have plenty of soap, lather. It always works out well. And I kind of apply the same thing with the beard oil. Some say 2 or 3 drops. I usually 1 full dropper, and I just work it into the beard. I just keep on working it with both hands. Up underneath, I mean, I'm just working it in. And not that I ever had an issue with my skin itching with the beard. All the years that I had a full beard, never had that kind of issue. For some folks, though, I can understand it. But the beard oil for me not only helps my skin, but also as it goes for the hair. My whiskers are a lot better. The beard is a lot better when I use the beard oil. From time to time, when I'm off camera, what I do with it is I do like what you may see a number of other guys do. I put the shaving cream all over. So in other words, it's getting washed on a regular basis. Shower, it gets washed when I shave off camera, so it gets a lot of attention. So my beard stays fairly well hydrated and clean in there. So if you're ever kind of wondering about that sort of thing, the way I look at it, and I've always looked at it, grow a beard, I treat it just like if I had hair on my head. I treat it the same way. I just keep on washing it and taking care of it that way. At any rate, hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.